Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As some of you may know, I recently participated in NetEase's Fearless Pioneers duel. I chose Legolas as my commander for that duel, and so I figured that I should go ahead and make a quick little video guide about Legolas. So if you want to know how to get to the most value out of your Legolas, stay tuned. Before we get into it, I do want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Codashop. Allow me to introduce you to Kodashop, a platform that will allow you to top up your accounts in most or all of your favorite games. Kodashop partners directly with some of the largest publishers in the business to allow for a quick, safe, and seamless purchase experience when buying in-game items or currencies. Kodashop's partnerships allow them to immediately send your purchases to your account, just like if you're using the Google or Apple stores. They even support sending gifts directly to your friends. Using Kodashop is quick and easy. First, go to Kodashop.com or use my affiliate link in the description of this video. Next, select the game that you wish to make a purchase for. Fill out the required account information, select your top-up, choose your payment method, and enter an email address where you'd like to receive a receipt. And you're done. Topping up your accounts has never been easier, and thank you to Codashop for sponsoring this video. Welcome back, everyone. The first thing I want to touch on is why use Legolas. He is, in my opinion, one of the most consistent damage-dealing commanders. I will say that I don't think that he is the absolute best damage dealer. However, he also has a very low barrier to entry. He's only a tier 2 commander and only really needs respect 3 in order to start popping off and doing a bunch of damage. So go ahead and go over his skill tree. It's very straightforward. Pretty much you're going to be putting points in all of his damage abilities. I'm not going to go through all of them because they pretty much just all say Legolas deals more damage. There is one caveat I do want to mention, though. If you have your Legolas at respect 5 or above, you will likely want to put at least 2 points into Dwarf Friend and at least 1 point into Protect Elves. This will give you the option of including Sentinels in your army if you so choose. If you don't plan on using Sentinels, just stick with these skills. The other bonus of Protect Elves is that if you're using Guardians, it does boost their defense as well. If you're planning on strictly using Guardians, though, I think those points would probably be better spent in friendly relations. So if you plan on only using Guardians, then you'll want to put some points into this with any extra points that you have. If you don't want to just use Guardians, so if you want to include Sentinels in your army for some extra damage, you want to put some points into this, so that the Guardians take the hits on behalf of the Sentinels. As far as gearing goes, the main thing you'll want to look for, in my opinion, is a weapon that has a damage proc, such as my Elven Dirk with Pierce. If you're going to be running Sentinels, you will likely want to have a Mirkwood Bow that has Pierce instead. The Lang, I think it has Cleave is the name of the skill on the Lang or the Long, however you say that weapon's name. But basically, because Legolas is attacking so much more frequently than other commanders through his follow-up skill, these damage procs are very powerful on him because he's getting off way more normal attacks than another commander would be. Another fair option is the Battle Axe with Flay, I believe it's called, the one that lets it ignore a portion of the enemy's defense for the first 4 rounds of combat. Then as far as the chest piece goes, there's a couple of good options. Scale Mail with Gallant. Legolas really likes to stack up on extra might because he actually has, for a warrior commander, not all that much base might, believe it or not. It's pretty significantly lower than some of the Dwarven commanders that are also used as damage dealers. Another fair option would be a Scale Mail with Melee Vigor. This will let those Guardians be a little bit more tanky and survive a little bit longer. And you could also always opt for a Scout's Mail with Shroud. I don't have one of those in my inventory, but that would be a perfectly fine option as well. Shroud is the skill that says that your units have, when you're maxed out, a 60% chance of avoiding the first instance of damage. As far as the helm goes, I think the best option by far for Legolas is the full helm with melee vigor. If you don't have access to one of these, you could potentially run a trapper's hood, especially if you are including sentinels in your army. However, I would really highly recommend the full helm with melee vigor over that, because you're going to get a lot more might out of this, and you'll be able to make your guardians more tanky. And for the accessory slot, I think Hithlane with Mend is quite perfect. It gives might, it gives army HP, and it gives Legolas a little bit of healing as well. And we can move on and talk about, sorry, I'm in bag end right now. We can talk about army compositions to finish things off. Being in bag end makes it a little bit more complicated, but I think we can make it work. Let's go ahead and get all these units out of there. That way we don't have to scroll through a list endlessly. So the most basic army composition that you will likely run with Legolas is just a whole bunch of guardians. These guys are great at taking damage, and that's exactly what you want on a commander like Legolas. You can potentially consider running cataphracts if your Legolas is not respect 5. Cataphracts are also very tanky. However, once you get to respect 5 and you can get these skills that affect dwarves and elves, you'll really want to stick with guardians. Alternatively, if you are respect 5 and above, you can throw in a handful of sentinels, maybe something like 75% guardians, 25% sentinels. The guardians will be tanking hits on behalf of the sentinels, and the sentinels will be doing quite a bit of damage because they are very high damage units. And if you're running something like the Mirkwood Bow with Pierce, they're also going to gain the effect of that extra attack, which is excellent. So that's it, guys. That's it for Legolas. He's a very straightforward commander, very low barrier to entry, and he can really compete with a lot of the best for a very long time. I'll catch you in the next one. Rise of the Phoenix, over and out.